Hello, book lovers. Welcome to another episode of our podcast, From the Book Nook. I'm Anne, joined by my wonderful co-host, Greg.
Welcome to this deep dive, and we're looking at Amy Tan's The Backyard Bird Chronicles.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, color me intrigued. I have to admit, when I think Amy Tan, I think the Joy Luck Club, not birds.
Right.
So are you ready to uncover what she discovered about the feathered world?
Yeah, let's do it.
And maybe even spark your own curiosity about what's going on in your own backyard?
Let's fly into it.
Okay.
The fact that this book is a #1 New York Times bestseller already tells you something.
Yeah?
It's not every day a celebrated novelist turns into a successful birdwatcher.
It's like finding out Stephen King is secretly a master baker or something.
Yeah.
I noticed this interesting detail.
Okay.
Tan started birdwatching in 2016, specifically to find some peace from all the political negativity going on.
Wow.
Yeah, so 2016 was kind of a
year.
year.
Yeah.
Right.
What's fascinating is how that search for peace turned into something much bigger.
Yeah.
The book's description talks about how she discovered this profound connection to nature. Finding those quiet moments amidst all the chaos.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how we all seek solace in different ways.
And get this, she didn't just write about her birdwatching.
Okay.
She illustrated the book with her own drawings.
Oh, wow.
The reviewers are raving about them,
Yes.
saying they add this personal touch and make you feel like you're right there with her.
It's like she's inviting you into her world, sharing not just the birds themselves, but her unique perspective on them.
There's a quote from a review that really struck me. It says the book encouraged them to pay attention to the natural world in a way they never had before.
Wow.
Have you ever taken the time to really observe the birds in your own backyard?
I'd have to say no.
Because I have a feeling this deep dive might change how you see them.
Yeah, that would be something.
It makes me think about how we often overlook the beauty and wonder that's right in front of us.
Yeah,
And in this case, it's not just about the birds,
right.
but how Amy Tan, with her novelist's eye, observes them.
Exactly. She's weaving personal anecdotes and reflections into her observations,
Right.
taking us beyond simple identification into a deeper experience.
Yeah.
You're not just learning about birds.
Right.
You're seeing them through the eyes of a master storyteller.
So it's not just a field guide. It's a narrative drawing you into her world and the world of these birds.
Precisely, and that brings up a bigger point.
Okay.
How different perspectives can enrich our understanding of anything, whether it's birds or, well, anything really.
Yeah.
Different viewpoints can lead to those aha moments
Right.
we might otherwise miss.
I love that. Okay, so we've got this unexpected pairing of novelist and birdwatcher, a journey that started with seeking solace and these incredible illustrations. The book is actually structured like a series of journal entries, right?
That's right. It's fascinating because by presenting the book this way, Tan invites us to experience her journey of discovery in a very personal and intimate way.
Right.
We're not just reading about birds. We're getting a glimpse into her evolving relationship with them and the natural world.
It's like we're peeking into her creative process. We see those initial moments of curiosity, maybe some frustration, but also her growing knowledge and appreciation for the birds sharing her space.
It's a beautiful reminder that learning is a lifelong process,
Yeah.
and even the most accomplished individuals can find joy and wonder in exploring new territory.
Speaking of exploring, you mentioned those personal anecdotes she weaves in.
Uh-huh.
One about a hummingbird that I'm dying to hear more about. Sounds pretty hilarious.
Oh yes, that one definitely stands out. It perfectly captures Tan's wit and ability to find humor in the everyday.
So tell me about this hummingbird story.
Well, you've probably seen those tiny hummingbird feeders, right?
Yeah.
Can was trying to use one to attract a hummingbird,
Yeah.
but this little bird was having none of it.
So picture this Amy Tan, famous author, standing there with this fancy feeder, and this tiny hummingbird is just ignoring her. What did she do?
She became a detective.
Okay.
She started observing more closely and realized the hummingbird was actually more interested in the bright pink fuchsia flowers she had.
Okay, so she disguised the feeder as a fuchsia.
Nope, even more interesting. She dipped her finger in the feeder solution, held it out near the fuchsia, and the hummingbird landed right on her finger and started feeding.
Wow, that's dedication. I mean, most people would have just given up after the feeder didn't work, but this really highlights that idea of observation we keep coming back to, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it wasn't just watching. It was paying close attention to the hummingbird's behavior, noticing what it was truly drawn to. And that allowed her to have this incredible experience, this connection with this tiny creature.
It's like she unlocked a secret by truly understanding the hummingbird's world, and it makes me wonder what other insights does she glean from her observations throughout the book.
Remember how we talked about the book being structured like a series of journal entries?
Yeah.
That format really allows her to document not just the birds themselves,
Yeah.
but her own evolving relationship with them and with nature in general.
So we're not just getting a birdwatcher's guide, but a rater's perspective on that journey of discovery, right?
Exactly. You see her initial curiosity, her moments of frustration when she can't identify a bird, and then the joy when she finally figures it out. It's a reminder that learning can be this wonderful, messy process, and the journal format makes it feel like you're going on that journey with her.
Speaking of journeys, it seems like her bird watching has had a ripple effect beyond just this book. Didn't I read somewhere that she's now involved in conservation efforts?
You're right, the author bio mentions that she's on the board of the American Bird Conservancy.
That's incredible. So she's gone from finding solace in birds to actively working to protect them. It speaks to the power of passion, how a personal interest can become something much bigger. This deep dive has really surprised me. I came in expecting to just skim the surface of this book, and now I'm feeling inspired to get outside and actually observe the birds in my own neighborhood.
That's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? They could open up these new avenues of thought, spark a desire to explore further, and I think we've only scratched the surface of what the Backyard Bird Chronicles has to offer.
I agree we've hit the highlights, but there's so much more to discover in the book itself. Those detailed observations, her personal reflections, the way she weaves together her passion for birds and her writing, it's all there waiting to be explored. It's funny, I came into this deep dive thinking we'd mostly be talking about a book, but it feels like we uncovered so much more.
Yeah.
It's like this unexpected journey into Amy Tan's world.
Right.
Her writing, her love for birds.
Yeah.
Even a bit of self-reflection along the way.
And that's the magic of deep dives like this.
Right.
It's not just about summarizing information.
Yeah.
It's about making connections, sparking curiosity, and maybe even inspiring you to see the world a little differently.
Absolutely. So if we were to distill all of this down, what are the big takeaways you think would resonate with our listener?
Well, first and foremost, it's that idea of observation.
Okay.
Amy Tan's journey really highlights how paying attention, truly observing the world around us, can reveal these hidden layers of beauty, spark new interests, and lead to those unexpected aha moments.
And it's not just passively looking, right?
Right.
It's that active engagement with what you're observing.
Yeah.
Like Tan does with the birds. She's sketching them, studying their behavior, even interacting with them, like with that hummingbird.
Exactly. It's about going beyond the surface, immersing yourself in the experience, and seeking a deeper understanding.
The second takeaway that stands out for me is that interconnectedness we keep seeing. We started with Amy Tan, the novelist, and suddenly we're talking about birds, the nature conservation.
Yeah.
And even how these things tie back to our own lives and experiences. It's amazing how everything seems to connect.
It's a beautiful illustration of how different areas of our lives, different interests and passions
Right.
can intersect and enrich each other.
And finally, I think there's this message of embracing new experiences and challenging ourselves to step outside our comfort zones.
Yes.
If Amy Tan, this acclaimed novelist, can discover a passion for bird watching later in life, what's to stop any of us from exploring new territories, regardless of our background or experience?
It's a powerful reminder to stay curious, remain open to new possibilities, and never stop exploring the world around us
Yeah.
and the world within ourselves.
So well said. It's amazing how much we can learn from a single book and how much inspiration we can find simply by observing the world with a little more attention.
Indeed. And who knows, maybe this deep dive has sparked a new interest for you, or maybe it simply encouraged you to look at the familiar with a fresh perspective.
If a novelist can become a passionate bird watcher, what unexpected passions might you discover? There's a whole world out there waiting to be explored, and sometimes all it takes is a little curiosity and a willingness to see things in a new light. Happy birding.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of From the Book Nook.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love having you here in our cozy little corner of the book world.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
And we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and book recommendations in the comments.
It really helps us connect with more book lovers like you.
And we'll meet you right back here in the Nook.
Until next time, keep turning those pages.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.